What's up everyone, it's your boy Xmanny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, the Collector and Grandmaster 2-pack. And first off, I want to give a big thank you to my buddy Shartimus Prime for scoring this 2-pack for me. And before I get into everything, if you could please leave a like rating on the video, it'll show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now, with that said, it comes with everything you see here, so we'll cover the Collector first and we'll then cover Grandmaster. First up, I give you Tenalier Tavan, the Collector, and it's freaking beautiful. For those of you who've known me, that followed me over the years, you know that this was one of my dream figures on my wish list. I didn't care how to get the Collector, whether it was comic version or MCU version. I just wanted the Collector, and it's finally in my hands, and I am so freaking happy. So I definitely want to cover his sculpt and look and paint job first, and then we'll take a look at his accessories. Taking a look at the head sculpt first, this definitely has Benicio del Toro's likeness, and he was one of the best parts of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. He was magnificent as always. Love Benicio del Toro, big fan of his work, and you can see definitely got that big over dramatic hairdo. Bummer that there is a gap right there, so that's annoying. But despite that, really looks like him and how his character was portrayed. The head sculpt is phenomenal in my opinion. Got the face print technology that keeps doing wonders for these figures and bringing these actors' likenesses to life on these 6-inch figures. So very happy to see that. And you got that paint right there going down on his lip. There is a slight gap right there, so explains this. I'll probably just have to boil this off and then re-glue it back. So might be a pain, but it's doable. Yeah, as you can see, going around, it doesn't align properly. Here's a look at the back of the hair, which looks good. Taking a look at the rest of the body here, you see the design he has on his upper torso. You got these gold, blue, and red beads sculpted right there. And you got some design on the burgundy part of the suit. Yeah, the arm is from the suited bodies, except this part right here. That's newly sculpted. As you can see, this matches his design on his torso. Along with the torso being newly sculpted, you got this arm that is newly sculpted as well. You got this flatter type of print there. Got some sculpting of like the fur-like texture. Both hands have been seen before on the suited chameleon bodies, so nothing new there. And the cape is new, or his jacket, whatever you want to call it. That is newly sculpted. You got the fur-like texture. You got the pattern here, the black and white pattern here. It is removable, and when you remove the cape, you can see more of that pattern inside. So yeah, this cape is nicely sculpted. I dig it. And looking at the rest of his body, the legs right here are definitely from the Nick Fury type of legs. So these are using the new suited legs, and the easiest way you could tell is because it has the ankle swivel. So, and it's got a lot more defined wrinkles up top here, and got the collector shoes right there. Here's taking a look at the back without his cape, and now we'll take a look at his accessories. So the collector here comes with 2 accessories. We're looking at one of the 2, which is an alternate head with his inspector goggles, and this looks really cool. I dig this a lot. I like how it came out. I do like the paint job that they did on the goggles. It looks really cool. Looking at the other head here to compare, this is pretty much a new sculpt. The goggles here are not removable. You can see his eyes behind there. For the most part, I feel like this is newly sculpted instead of just putting goggles on this head, because I do feel that his cheeks are more defined here, and the cheekbones are kind of pressed in here, whereas his cheekbones here are kind of popping out a little bit more. That could just be me, but that's what I'm noticing. I'm a big fan of this head sculpt, and now I'm debating whether to display my collector with the goggles on or without, so we'll see. Next up is the Power Orb, which is basically the same that came with the 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy Wave Star-Lord. And having the 2014 version in hand on my left hand right here, you can see that the only difference is the paint job. You would think the Comic-Con would have a better paint job, but Yeah, there's more. Feel like there's more color variation on this one than the Comic-Con one. Would have been cool if they had a power orb accessory that was opened, you know, having that purple effect or something like that. I don't know, but would have been cool. Alright, now that we've taken a look at the collector, let's now take a look at the Grandmaster and his accessories. Taking a look at the Grandmaster's head sculpt here. Does this look like Jeff Goldblum or what? It just cracks me up every time I look at this face, and it definitely captures his likeness. I really love the likeness here. Unfortunately, I still suffer from the hair gaps right there, so yeah, bummer. Yeah, both heads suffering from that in this pack. Yeah, it's frustrating. But looking at everything else, the smile here, I like the blue paint going down the chin. Really, really cool. Taking a look at the back of the hair and all around. Taking a look at the rest of the body here. He's sporting his gold robe, and you can see the designs throughout the robe, so that is nicely sculpted in there. And it looks really, really cool. You can see the one long sleeve from his robe. The other one is from his shirt inside, so that is double jointed, as you can see that right there. And got the bicep cut right there. This one doesn't. This one's elbow swivel and single jointed elbow only. Looking at the wrist, again the design is really nice. Looking down, he's got his red sash right here. He does have some red going around the robe as well. The robe is removable, and you can see the inside of his shirt. Looking at the inside of the shirt, it's a nice blue paint. He's got some red there. And just to show you before I cover articulation, he has one waist joint and torso joint that's all on the same joint, so it's not double jointed or anything. He doesn't have two separate joints. It's one of those rocking, which I call belly torsos. So looking at the rest of the body, it's the Nick Fury pants used again. You could tell by the ankle swivel. And here are his nasty ass feet. As you can see, he has the blue toenail polish right there. You got the sandals that are nicely designed, and give credit to Hasbro for, you know, sculpting these sandals. That probably wasn't easy to do. And his hands also has the blue nail polish. He's got a pinky ring right there. No rings or accessories on this hand, as it's from the same open hands you see on the suited bodies a lot. So the Grandmaster comes with two accessories, and this is one out of the two. And while it looks really nice, it looks good, it feels so cheap and is very pliable, and I definitely feel like if you're not careful, this will warp the wrong way, or it'll get badly warped, because mine is a little bit warped, so gotta be careful heating it. I do like the color here at the top. It's like almost a nice amber type of color. And then it's just a plain dull gold on the rest of it, so nothing special. And it just fits in his hands like so. You squeeze that in there, and you can always take the other hand, and you could just hook this over his thumb. You can have him hold it however you like, just like this. And if you want him to zap somebody, then you're gonna love the second accessory. And his second accessory is just a big pile of blue goop. Big pile of blue goop. It is pliable, and it's from the scene where he zapped his cousin or whatever it was. Yeah, looking at this is like a metallic blue color. You know, the sculpting is nice throughout, and I have a feeling I see a lot of people are going to use this as some Hydro Man type of plot in their photography. I don't mind it. I'm always open to effects. And now to cover articulation for the collector. His head moves that far up. I could get a little back. Yeah, that's great movement right there. His head moves that far down. His head moves left, right. He's got the head pivot and head rocker as well. This arm moves all the way up. It will knock off the cape if you do so. I'm just holding on to it. It moves all around. Elbow swivel, single jointed elbow on this side. He's got the wrist swivel, wrist hinge. Hard to do with this blocking it basically. And then his arm on this side moves that far up, so you can see the big difference there. This one moves higher. He's got the bicep swivel here, double jointed elbows, and he has the wrist swivel, wrist hinge. The torso that moves that far down, not that much, that far back. It does pivot some, and he has that rocking motion and swivel. He's got a waist swivel. His legs move that far apart, that far up, that far back. You got the leg rocker, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and oh, no heel to the collector, but you got the ankle swivel, ankles that move that far up, down, and he's got awesome ankle pivot. Now to cover articulation for the Grandmaster, his head moves that far up, so really far, moves that far down, left, right. He's got some pivot and some rocking movement there. His arm moves that far up, and his left arm only moves, well, yeah, it's much better than the collector. I mean, this is probably a little bit higher, maybe, or this one's a little bit higher. So his arm moves all around, single jointed elbow and elbow swivel, as I shown you before, wrist swivel, wrist hinge, and as I mentioned before, the right arm has a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. With his robe on, his ab crunch moves that far down and that far back. He does, it's hard to keep this, move it around. He does have a waist swivel. He can pivot some with his robe on. Legs move that far apart. Obviously with the robe on, it's hindered. Everything's hindered with his robe on. Legs move that far up, that far back. Leg rocker, thigh swivel. You got double jointed knees. You got the ankle swivel. Ankles move up that far, down that low. And he's got ankle pivot. And to all my Hispanic friends and family, you guys will know what I mean when I say that this sandal looks like the Infinity Chancla. And for some comparisons, here is Benicio del Toro's The Collector next to the Guardians of the Galaxy's Batista's Drax, Chris Pratt's Star-Lord, and Zoe Saldana's Gamora. I had to pan out a bit here, but here is The Collector next to Guardians of the Galaxy's Rocket Raccoon and Groot in his tallest stance possible. And here is Jeff Goldblum's The Grandmaster next to Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie and Chris Hemsworth's Thor. Here he is next to Tom Hiddleston's Loki. And here is Grandmaster next to the Gladiator Hulk. Alright guys, that was my review on the Grandmaster and the Collector San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 2-pack. And my final thoughts, well... Alright, sit tight for this one because I have a lot that's just going all over the place in my mind, and here's how I feel. This 2-pack should have just been the Collector, like, in his vault, with, like, some of the creatures he had in his vault. Maybe a Howard the Duck, maybe a Cosmos, or his funny assistant that was in the first movie, that chick, I forgot her name. And speaking of Cosmos, I didn't show this earlier, but he did have a cutout. It comes with a cutout of Cosmos, just printed. It would have been cool if we had an actual Cosmos figure. So here I have the Marvel Universe Cosmos figure, and this was for the 3 3/4 line, and it did come with the Collector. That was the comic book version for the Marvel Universe line. I wish it came with something like that. I mean, it came with, what, Lockjaw, Moon Boy, or whatever. So they could have went a different route instead of packing in the Grandmaster, because he was already in the 2-pack with Korg, just with a different neutral head. That's it, nothing new. So that just makes me feel that that Korg 2-pack should have been Meek. Let's face it, it should have been Meek, and Meek in his battle armor. That would have been way better. There's other ways and ideas that Hasbro could have taken this pack. I mean, they could have done, you know, the Collector with a power orb for the Roleplay Legends line, similar to what they did with the Red Skull and the Cosmic Cube. You know, they could have done something like that, or they could have him packed in with the Ether casket that was delivered to him in the post-credit scenes of Thor Ragnarok. That would have been a cool accessory to pack in, because we don't have that yet in our Legends MCU collection. Also, since you guys know I'm a fan of soft goods, I was thinking about getting an extra Snoke and maybe cutting this robe and modding it to fit Grandmaster's robe, so, you know, he could have more movement and range. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think, if that's a good idea I should try or not. Is it worth it? Currently, right now, it's sitting on Hasbro Post website for $49.99. That means it's $25 each, right? So if you already got the Korg and Grandmaster 2-pack, which you probably paid $50, $25 each, you're going to have to pay $25 again for the Grandmaster. Granted, I know it's a 2-pack, but still, I wasn't happy that I, you know, owned 2 Grandmasters. I actually just sold the one I have in the Korg pack on eBay, because I don't need 2 Grandmasters. I don't care about a neutral head. I am happy with this one. But if you have that Korg and Grandmaster pack and you get this set, it feels like you're just really paying $50 for the Collector. Is the Collector worth $50 alone? No, I don't think so. And again, I'm a huge collector fan. I've always wanted him, MCU or comic. I always wanted him, but no, this figure's not worth 50 bucks if we're looking at it like that. So who takes the win for this year's Comic-Con exclusives? I'm gonna say the Hulk. The $35 price point is probably more justifiable than the 2-pack for 50 bucks for the collector and the Grandmaster. Now, if you own the 2-pack Hulk, then if you get this Hulk, it's probably not going to be much difference other than the paint and accessory. And if you're a big MCU fan, big MCU collector, then I can understand why you would go and grab the collector. So if you already have the Hulk 2-pack and you want to spend $35 on this Hulk, if he's still available for that price, then this Hulk is worth it. $35 for, you know, pretty much a Build-A-Figure. He could easily be in a Build-A-Figure, and we're definitely going to get more Hulks in that body. You got the new Gray Hulk revealed. I'm pretty sure and positive that we're going to get a Red Hulk next year in this body. Anyways, I'm extremely happy to get the collector as an action figure. Now my next one is to get a comic book version of the collector. I hope we get that, and if not, then this will be the only collector that you would get in 6-inch scale. And in that sense, if you really want him, just because he is a new character too, we've never gotten him before, you know, we already got the Hulk, we already got Grandmaster, then I would say grab this pack for sure. So now I kick it back to you. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this pack, and I definitely want to see if you agree with what I said. Please leave a like rating on the video. Comment, we'll chat about it. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Link is in the description below. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.